welcome to East Coast DNA. Today it's a little bit of East meets West, where we have a bunch of folks down here from Alberta. So the band is Sparrow Blue. Welcome, boys.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
First of all, I do want to thank you just for even being in my region right now, because we are East Coast DNA, so the podcast features people from our region, but I do focus people that come through the region, and I realize, especially for a West area band, I know you're not West Coast, but it'd be really easy for you to go to the West Coast, stop in Toronto, turn back around and go home. Yeah. I know that it's a lot of effort for you to bring yourselves all the way down here, so it is appreciated by the fans. And right off the bat, too, I saw you a couple nights ago there in Truro, Nova Scotia. My first time at that venue, so hats off to Truro Brewing. That's a cool little venue they got going in there. But amazing performance. You guys packed a lot of energy into a smaller stage there, too. So you really worked the area that you had to work with. And it impressed me enough that I definitely wanted to make sure that I squeezed you in before you headed back off on the road. And fortunate for me, you happen to be in my hometown of Glasgow today, so even better. So thanks for that as well.
Absolutely.
So maybe to start off, since there is 6 different people here, do you guys maybe just want to pass the mic along and tell the viewers who you are and what you do in the band?
Absolutely. I'm Jon, and I am one of the guitar players in the band.
I'm Caden, and I play bass.
I'm Desmond, I'm vocals. Russell, I'm on percussion.
I'm Liam, I play the drums.
I'm Chad, I also play guitar.
Okay, so I guess we could start with you there, Chad, too. I am curious, are you all, like, it's a large band, so are you all originally from Alberta, like born and raised?
Everybody but one. Caden's from BC.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now yourself, how many years has the band been together, I guess, to start with?
I'll let you take that, Liam, because you know the years better than I do.
We started in 2016.
Okay.
So whatever that math is.
Well, it's funny because when I'm interviewing, I started this podcast kind of coming out of the lockdowns.
Okay.
And a lot of the up-and-coming people that would have been the first people I would have had access to, there was a lot of bands that were brand new because they were formed during lockdowns. And a lot of the bands that had traction in our region specifically, when we went into lockdowns, a lot of those bands broke up.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys formed at a time that we did have a lot of rock bands down here. And not to get controversial, but we know how society changes a little bit over times, and there's been a lot of different focus on different styles, genres, and a band of all men out there, really, especially a rock band, really seemed to die off for a couple of years, strangely enough. There's a lot of fans, but the fans were listening to Led Zeppelin or Black Sabbath. They had like wicked bands to listen to, and they were in lockdown, so there wasn't live acts to go out and see. It did fizzle out, but you guys obviously survived all of that.
Yeah, well, we have our own studio and stuff like that.
Cool.
So, I mean, we were really picking up steam right when that kind of happened.
Yeah.
That's when we started planning. Like 2020 was probably going to be one of our busiest years to date. Because I think those first 4 years were really just formative. And, you know, the first 2 years were really just building yourself up locally in Edmonton more than anything else. And then we started hitting the road down to Calgary and Saskatoon, stuff like that. And then, 2020 was really going to pick up. And then, that shit went down. But we just put our heads down and just kept writing music and recording music.
And so is this the first time that you were able to bring the band down our way? Or
This far east, yeah.
So the bus. Who's the expert on the bus that's out here in the parking lot today?
Well, my dad's the driver.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So it's you.
Yeah, and we picked that thing up maybe 2018.
Yeah.
We always knew we were gonna take it across the country eventually. Just was a matter of time.
It's impressive. I've seen a few different tour bands, and for anyone that's like music geek like me that's out there and follows stuff, Exclaim did a feature there last year too on different bands.
Oh yeah.
So I do find that fascinating. From the outside point of view as a fan, like there's the kind of that romantic lifestyle of the rock star and all the stereotype that comes with it, and your touring vehicle is part of that story. So that is an impressive machine, and you get it all ducked out to actually stay in, so you have accommodations with you on the road.
Yeah, like I think most of us just woke up about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
It worked out pretty good, yeah.
So does it have a name? Everyone down here has a name
No,
for theirs.
It doesn't have a name. You're not the first person to ask us that, too.
Yeah, that's a free thing for you as a content maker, is that when you get back home, you can think about it, workshop it on the way back, and then when you get back, do a promotion through your social media channels where you get the fans to name it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That'll get you some traction for sure. Everybody wants to lay credit to they're the one I came up with the name. You'll even get people that are like, it's a variant of it, and they're like, well, I think they took my name.
Yeah, no, it's just the bus.
Amazing. That fits. It fits.
Yeah.
So you guys are kind of at the end of a rather extensive tour, it looks like, based on all the tour dates that you have, but you still have a lot of dates left. So, like, are you just passing the midpoint, or?
Yep, just crested that, I think, last night.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, with the idea that you play all the way across the country and then all the way back, you're doing gigs too?
Yeah, for sure. Don't want to waste anything on either direction.
I want my East Coast band friends to pay special attention to this, because I know of a few. I'm not talking about anyone specific, but a lot of times they'll go as far west as they can, and then they have to get home.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's doable. I'm sure the logistics of it's a nightmare, but you guys are doing it. So I want people to note that it's possible. These guys are doing it, so we can do it in reverse too. It's definitely a doable thing. And that's the way it was years ago.
Honestly, I think logistically, until you hit British Columbia, the farther west you go, the easier the drives are, because there isn't so much winding roads.
Yeah.
I must say, those West Coast highways are far better than some of the ones that we've been on the way out here. But so it does make the life on the road a little bit easier, like smoother rolling and stuff.
We're a location that more so pitches that it's scenic drives.
Oh, I love it though. I love it, man. It's awesome.
If you have time for leisurely, it is a little painful when you're trying to get from gig to gig, and like I don't normally have to do it myself, but I will tour around with some other bands and stuff, and I know that those stretches can be quite a lot of just trees.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I say the drive is easier because it's just like flat and straight.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where you got to pay attention.
Oh,
You just start falling
You
asleep, man. It's
either,
flat and straight in the prairies, man. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
You can see your dog running away for a week.
And so now, where this is the furthest east that you've made it, over the years, you obviously started to build a bigger and bigger circle. So do you have a decent following west of Alberta as well?
Absolutely, west of Alberta, because he's from BC.
Yeah.
So every time we go through, there's always something. We're getting on festivals there. We've been doing lots of good local shows in a few different areas. So yeah, BC's been going really well.
Amazing.
It's just west of it's the only thing west of Alberta. So.
And so when you leave Glasgow, you have another date in New Brunswick, I believe.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow we'll do Halifax, and then we'll go up to St. John.
Okay.
A couple days later. So, and then it's back up to Quebec.
So have you been to Quebec before?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
We played Montreal last year.
Quebec City.
But Quebec City will be the first time this year.
Perfect. Well, definitely give yourself a little bit extra time to mess around there too. The old architecture and stuff around there is amazing.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
it's definitely worth an extra afternoon or something if you can squeeze it in. Yeah. So is there anything so far on the East Coast that you really considered a highlight of your trip down here, or is there anything that you wanted to do since it's your first time down here that you haven't gotten to do yet?
We haven't really gotten the chance to really check anything out yet, just because we're kind of getting from gig to gig.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I believe we have an extra day off in Halifax and we're going down to Peggy's Cove.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a one.
Hang out, get the tour and everything. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to that one for sure.
So don't fall into the trap. The people that go there to see it, they always want to go down right close to the water to get a photo. Like people legit get sucked out into the ocean.
That's what we were being told before we even got there.
It would look cool, but I don't recommend it. I don't want
being alive.
Yeah, exactly. You want to make sure that there's still 6 people getting on.
I'm trying to get the shot. Yeah. Whatever it takes.
Fucking basis.
Yeah. So the band itself, how did you guys end up forming? A lot of bands around here. I don't know your region as well, but I'm sure that there's a lot of farmland, the way that we have the stereotype fishing community down here. Like we have plenty of farms down here too. So
yeah, of course.
I'm sure that you guys have the same thing where you're not necessarily in big central communities growing up. So a little bit of isolation to learn your craft before you meet everyone else. But how did you end up forming as a whole band?
Well, myself and one of our former guitar players wrote a couple of tunes in the backyard we lived in at the time. Mm-hmm. That would have been fall of 2015. And one of the songs was called River Water, which is featured on our second album now. So it's came out many years later, but still pretty awesome. Anyway, we decided we need to get a band behind this because we're just playing on an acoustic guitar. Sure. So and we had played with Liam before, and one of our other former bassists, and so we called them right up. And then Des here we both knew from high school.
Okay.
So and we knew he's a hell of a front man, so both of us were like, we got to call him, and luckily he was down. And we all met up and had a jam and just kind of messed around with a couple of songs that we'd written. And Russell was there like hitting a cowbell, and we decided, well, you know what? Let's see if we can add a percussionist to this thing and change it up a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And it stuck. Obviously he's still here.
Good call.
I want
yeah.
the fucking growth of your kit to be like put in the annals of our band.
Yeah, maybe you can
fucking tape shit to a chair for our first show.
Well, yeah, actually, maybe if you want to pass the mic down for a second.
The history of it.
Now, for anyone that didn't already see you live, they maybe don't have a frame of reference. So, like, it sounds like you started with just the cowbell, but like you're giving it back there, and you have your own percussion set.
Well, thank you.
And just small side note, I was fascinated because years ago, obviously I'm a big music fan, but I don't play anything. But many, many moons ago, I did percussion for school band stuff. And people always like, oh, so you can play the drums. I'm like, no, I never played a drum kit. And they never understand what I mean. And when I saw you back there, I'm like, that's what I used to do. Like, not at that level, but I'm like, that right there.
Yeah, I guess usually the first thing I tell people is, I'm playing everything but the drums up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it started out, it's like, I don't know, we peeled this fucking chair out of somebody's backyard, and I just started taping crap to it.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. There's a fixed tambourine on it. There's, like, busted cymbals, and the stands were all, like, even busted drumsticks. So you'd be smashing that stuff, and it would just break, and it was like, okay, well, more duct tape. It went through, like, 3 or 4... evolutions. Like it started with that weird chair thing, and then one day I'd take a bunch of Unistrut and we're bolting it together, and you couldn't really take it apart. It was heavy, and big,
huge.
And there was more fixed equipment on it. The cowbells, more fixed tambourines. It's kind of strange.
Dude, loading that into the Bohemian for the first time, I was just so.
Oh man, and then eventually it turned into like music stands. And then I finally bought this. It's like a professional percussion table. So
I had a similar evolution with my gear for doing this. It's like it started with an audio podcast that quickly turned into video, and then I was using webcam, so I had to drag a computer with me, and then I had an external audio interface, and then I was customizing whatever I had to jerry rig a stand, and same thing, just fastening things together. First time I did a road trip to do interviews. Shout out to Jacques if you happen to be watching this. He was here watching me stress out figuring out what I need. I think I brought 5 totes of gear in my car, just not knowing what I needed to bring with me. And now You've got a microphone, I've got a microphone, there's a headset beside me, a tripod, and there's a camera with everything built into it. Like,
it's efficient too.
yeah, I
You
could throw
just
that in a
get there
backpack if I want to
eventually.
now.
Oh
so.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, so you are providing something that's very unique, but obviously you're probably similar to my realization. On the other end, when you have all the gear, you're like, wow, like if I had had the money at the beginning, would I have just dropped it and bought this? Or would you have even evolved into what you're doing? Because I think part of the do-it-yourself and making it work is that you end up with your own style as well, rather than just being told how to do it.
Right.
So is there anything that you want to add going forward? Because you already have quite an ensemble back there.
The last thing that I would add would be like a 30-inch gong or something.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, goddamn, I can't afford that right now. So
When you get
We'll
down
get
to
there.
Shoebox, see if Mark will show you the big symbol they have upstairs.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they got like a 50-inch gong or
Something
something.
crazy.
Just
up there.
ridiculous. That'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool. For sure.
Amazing. And now another one that I did see up there, like you've got chimes and you've mentioned the cowbells and tambourines up there and everything, but you also had a washing board.
Oh, you did have it open.
Yeah,
So-
and it's like not a musical one. It's like a glass,
Yeah,
fucking-
yeah.
But it works for what we do because it's definitely not like trying to overpower any other sounds on the songs.
And what
that
do you
it
do?
is
Do you
played,
just
but-
have a mic for like?
Yeah,
near?
like where I get my shaker and tambourine going,
Yeah.
I'll just quickly frickin' kind of throw it in the way of that.
Yeah.
and play it and then get rid of it. But yeah,
Yeah, it's
I'm s-
amazing.
I'm surprised it hasn't broke yet. All the travel and
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Yeah, no, that's definitely good luck to be able to keep it going, but hopefully it makes it through the rest of the tour at very bare minimum.
Oh yeah, 100%. I trust it will. Oh yeah,
That's some thick ass glass.
it is. Yeah, you wouldn't want that over the head.
Now, this tour is in support of the new album, so you must have kicked it off just like the album just came out in June, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So leading up to this album, I'm sure that you were doing the typical promotions and everything, but now that you're out doing a cross-Canada tour, is there a specific single or anything that you're pushing from that? Or is it more get out, see the live show, and buy some vinyl?
I mean, it is that, but
Yeah.
we've had so far I think 4 singles for the record.
Okay.
The latest one is called That Rock and Roll. You would have heard it the other night. You'll
Yeah.
probably hear it again tonight. I think we've been putting it in most our sets, and it's kind of just really what we were experiencing in the pandemic, and like, hey, like we just want to play music. Like this is bullshit. Like
Yeah, well, and to that sentiment, I had already kind of referenced it, and I mean, not to be negative at all, but I kind of covered the negative part. There does seem to be a resurgence right now
Yeah.
where things are starting to get back. I had a conversation with this last night on the way back from a road trip about the last few years with everything coming back. This is the first year, like the full calendar year, where everything was just like, there's stuff going on. We're not
Mm-hmm.
worried about all these different things. And now that people have kind of let their guard down and started to let normal come back in, it sounds super cheesy for me to say it, but it's like rock and roll's back this year. It's weird. Like
Perfect.
it does seem like there's traction for all these bands. And well, even, I mean, we made notes as we were walking by each other coming in the door here today too, but like with your t-shirts,
Yeah.
like Death from Above, I got to do some videography of one of their sets there last year, and I got to do a photo shoot this year because they performed just down the road from here.
Oh, nice.
Cassador I've seen twice this year already.
Yeah.
Like years ago, and I mean not many years ago, but like 2-3 years ago, I wouldn't have seen either band make it east.
Totally.
And a band like yourselves, like it wouldn't have been financially feasible 3 years ago for you to come down, because there wouldn't have been there wouldn't have been enough venues.
Yeah.
And 2, there wouldn't have been the crowds
No
to fill
draws,
the
yeah.
venues that were out. But now we have both. We have a plethora of venues. They're much smaller stages than some bands are going to want. But there's enough of them that you could do what you guys are doing, that you could just do show, and just
Totally.
keep moving, and you can
Yeah.
grab that money and it adds up. So it keeps you on the road anyway.
Yeah, I mean the fans have been good. They've been turning up this tour, and they've been coming out and buying merch, and they know that's what keeps us on the road, and I think they want to see us keep doing this just as much as we want to keep doing it, which is
Yeah.
important.
And what is next after the tour? Is there, like, it'd be too early for you to really want to hit the studio immediately, but that does seem to be the cycle that bands are caught in right now.
Yeah, for sure. When we get back, I think we're going to kind of just reassess some things. We have some offers and stuff that we don't have all the details to yet that we need to flesh out. We want to get, we're a touring band. Like, that's what we like to do. And I know next year we want to try and expand even more on where the markets we're hitting and, possibly go international. So
that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Definitely the live show looks like something that is scalable, that you could definitely, like I said, it was in a small area. It was a phenomenal show, but I could see how you guys could, there's 6 of you and you're all rocking out the whole time. So, I mean, if you spread that out on a bigger stage, I could definitely see how you could scale that up. And
for sure, those
high energy performances is what I'm seeing come back to the big stages now. So hopefully there's appetite out there and there's definitely an audience out there. We know that already. So now I'm curious, you mentioned already like having a couple albums out. So how many albums do you have all together in your back catalog?
It's just the 2.
The 2?
Yeah. And we released 2, I guess like so we have 2 albums out, and then way back when we started, we did Live Off the Floor. It was just a double, like two song EP. That was the very first time we'd been in the studio, but that's our catalog. We do have singles, a handful of singles that aren't on the albums as well, but 2 full-length albums.
So is Spotify the best place for people that want to check out the full catalog? Or
I think you can get it anywhere, man, like Apple Music, Google Play, YouTube.
Are you guys using Bandcamp? I didn't look for you there yet.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
I think that was one of the first ones we started with.
I'll have to give you a follow in there. I've been encouraging people to use Bandcamp as much as possible because that's probably, if people are going to spend money, you probably get the most money through there. But I do find...
Yeah, they actually support bands.
Yeah, and following Bandcamp, I don't find it very spammy. Like, I don't get ads. I get, hey, this guy put a new album out, or this band has a new EP, or this woman you went to see last week and started following, she has a new single out. Like, it's very simple. It's who you follow and what's coming out, and it's less notifications than what I get on like an Instagram follow or something. So it's not intrusive, and it's a good way to support the bands. And now merchandise, I mentioned vinyl. So the new album is on vinyl. What else do you guys have out there that you're pitching to people? Do you get shirts and a whole plethora of stuff?
Yeah, we just put in an order for condoms. Well, yeah, we've got shirts. Johnny and his girlfriend, they tie-dye some of the merch that comes in too. So we're actually getting thin on that, so we're gonna have to re-up on that. Oh, we're out.
We have 1 XXL.
Oh, there you go.
Alrighty then. We're gonna have to find the right person. For
you'll sell that in Nova Scotia before you.
We're super stoked because we've been doing hoodies, but on this run, we did crew neck sweaters.
Oh yeah.
So like, I personally, and I know these guys do as well, big crew neck fans, especially
I've
for
noticed,
fall time.
Yeah, that's all I've been getting lately. I do like a hoodie, but I've noticed that is the new style. Like, that's what everybody's getting now. So they're moving well for you too, I imagine.
Well, I think when we first started, it was so damn hot out that nobody wanted a hoodie. So I'm thinking by the time we start pushing into October, that people are going to be more inclined to buy those because, like, we also have tank tops and hats and shit like that, like more summery kind of items that people are more interested in right now. But we knew that we were going to be going into fall for this one, so getting a new order of sweaters, the crew necks were kind of like our go-to. We really wanted to get the hoodies again, but they're so expensive. So to do crew necks and hoodies at the same time, it was like, let's try something new because we hadn't done crew necks before. But
for sure,
yeah, we got lots of shit, man. I mean, we got posters, we got stickers, CDs, all of our shit, man.
Yeah. So anyone that is going to catch you on the remaining dates on the tour, once they've seen this, definitely bring some cash out to the shows.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
And now,
we got something for you.
When I read up on you guys too, I did see that, like, in your past experience in your live shows, that you've performed with a lot of different bands. when I was looking at your influences on your bio there too, I did find it funny. It was accurate, I'm sure, but it listed mountain there as well. Do you get a lot of traction on using that band as a reference in your bio, or it would be a demographic would be very familiar with them, that's for sure. And that's probably your bread and butter for an audience at most clubs that you'd be playing at.
Yeah, honestly, we do cover a mountain song, so that's one of the reasons why it's in there. Yeah. So, and also I think you might have seen Led Zeppelin in there, which we've covered before as well.
Okay.
But a lot of these bands are bands that like we have grown up listening to. So and if people can identify with it, right on. That's great.
And that's that kind of sound that, like I said, it seemed to go away for a little bit in our modern music, but it does seem to be. Well, I just saw Greta Van Fleet headlining over in Cavendish here. Like, I mean, I don't even know if pre-pandemic that we would have had them come here. Like, I don't know if we had had enough people go out, but obviously there's an appetite out there for the genre, and you guys are doing it with your own unique blend, because you do have all, well, the percussion really sold it on me, to tell you the truth, and having everybody so energetic, like that not all the bands are able to do that. There's a few bands that are out there that are making great music, but when I see them live, I hang around with a lot of photographers now too, and if they don't know the band, they just want to know who can I get a cool shot of. So if you're not moving around, you're not getting a cool photo from a lot of people either. But it seems like with you guys, there's probably tons of content floating around after every show.
Yeah, and I mean, just playing live music, like, I'm still pretty new to this, but there's just an energy on stage where it's like, I don't really want to stand still and just play this. Like, sure, I could stand still and play everything as perfect as possible and not miss any notes or anything like that. Or I could run around the stage like an idiot and expel that energy, because otherwise I'll just stand there and get nervous.
Yeah,
whereas
for
if
sure.
I run over and I'm looking at Chad and he's doing the same thing, just throwing himself around and just having fun doing it, then I feel better about just being on stage in general.
So he just revealed his secret is that it's all a masquerade, because he knows he can't play a full song properly. But if he distracts you as an excuse, he goes, well, I was doing
like
something
a
else.
Close-up magician.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's amazing.
You know, tricks of the trade, right?
And so, do you guys have any big aspirations for 2025? You got to refocus, but is there any big goals to keep you motivated?
Like Chad was mentioning, we do want to become international.
Yeah.
And we're basically just going over ways to make that happen for next year at this moment.
Amazing. I have a feeling that's going to happen. So.
Yeah, we got some ideas in the pot, so we're hoping that something cooks up really good.
Well, I'm curious. There's a lot of different festivals that are geared towards like the industry people and to get bands to showcase. There does seem to be a lot of traction to get bands to go over to Europe and play a couple festivals to get the names over there. And it does seem to be a real healthy time in the industry to be doing that, especially for what you guys do. So I wish you the best of luck with that. Where should I send people online to keep up to date with what's going on?
Instagram, Sparrow Blue Official, Facebook, just our name, Sparrow Blue, and our website, sparrowblue.ca.
Perfect.
Best places.
Newsletter? All right, yeah. That also, and that's another note for my East Coast band friends. That seems to be where everyone's getting traction lately, too, is social media is great. I love it, obviously, because that's where I live for my little influence in the music industry, but it does seem for bands that newsletters is where it's at lately. And I find even myself, outside of reading press releases and EPKs, I tend to lately keep more up to date with a newsletter than I do with people's individual Instagram account. If you have cool reels and stuff, I'm going to see them. And if you see your posts, I'll see them. But if you have a newsletter, I probably will pour a coffee and sit down for 10 minutes and focus on your band while I read that newsletter too.
Well, we appreciate people like you, because not everyone's willing to do that.
Yeah, it's hard to find the time. I actually, I think I might have to put a couple days off in my calendar. But
a lot of people have the attention spans of fleas these days.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Trying to read a whole letter is like, whoa.
Yeah, that's something I'm hoping has a little turnaround in the next little while too. Is that we went down to such small tidbits of information. Like a 15-second video clip is fun. I like it as much as anyone else. But I've even gotten away from doing some of these longer format ones a lot myself. But to sit down and actually just casually chat with someone and get out a few extra tidbits is nice. And that did seem to go away, but I am slowly starting to see it creep back in a few different areas. So hopefully it gets to the point that instead of just asking you guys about, like, are you doing a music video for your new single, I'll say, are you doing any recordings of your live performances, because people have an appetite to sit and watch a whole hour of you or something too. So well, I think we're heading that way, but we'll wait and see.
On that note,
yeah,
we have a bunch of music videos that you can see on YouTube, and we like really love messing around in front of the camera. We have a great humor amongst each other in the band, so all of our music videos, they're not just going to be some corny dude like walking down a dirt road or some shit. It's going to be us like flying down the dirt road like in our skivvies, like kind of like, dude, the last one we did for that rock and roll, like we're all being treated as cattle because at Liam's farm, and like these guys are getting walked down the corrals, like I get tied up with a lasso, these guys are getting like hung up in a butcher's closet, like dude, we just love messing around. So I mean, like, and the work that we put in to do those videos, like they get kind of I don't know, buried in the fucking YouTube algorithm.
Yeah.
It is. So like if anybody wants to see the non-stage funny side of us, like go check out those videos, man. They're great, and they're by a friend of ours, Brody LaPlante, Visuals by Mind, and he puts a lot of effort into making those videos really pop for us. So
showed him as well, because I know how much effort it takes to do stuff in the back end. Like it's
and we've been working with him, like we've come up together like from the beginning pretty much, and he's been with us since the start. And he always just puts so much flair into our music videos, and I think those are kind of unsung gems. Out of our catalog, like you were mentioning, what else is in the catalog but those music videos?
Well, and if anyone's watching this specific episode on YouTube, at the end I'll have links to some of your videos.
Oh, that'd be deadly,
too,
man. Thank you. Yeah.
Definitely get out there and subscribe to these guys on YouTube and to myself on YouTube. And another shout out to my East Coast music friends. How wonderful is it that they kept the same media guy around with them over the years? So like, that's maybe something you guys should all keep in mind too. So is there anything, obviously, if people get an opportunity to go out and see you live, I'm 100% biased because I've already seen you live. I think people should do that if they can. But if they haven't and don't have an opportunity to see you live immediately, is there a song you'd like to play off this episode with to give them a little bit of a taste on what Sparrow Blue is?
I don't know. What do you think, boys?
Hold Me Down's pretty good.
Yeah, Hold Me Down's a fucking ripper. Yeah.
Amazing.
I think that's got everything.
Yeah.
Heavy riff. Got some.
Great.
Yeah, it's one of the music videos that's on YouTube right now.
Oh, perfect.
So, it was one of our singles. So
excellent.
Guitar solo, it's got everything.
Hell yeah.
Well, it seems like we got a universal pick here.
Yeah.
We actually hired an entire mob for the music video this one. So.
Oh, really? Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's great.
So people stick around, give a listen here, and then follow through over to their YouTube channel, follow them there, and follow them everywhere online. Make sure you sign up for the newsletter as well. I'm sure you guys will end up coming back down this way again in the future, drop me a line if you have anything you want to promote in the future here. And if you're gearing up to do another tour, maybe we'll do a Zoom call before you come down, get people to buy tickets in advance.
Awesome. Yeah, that'd be great, man. Really appreciate that.
Well, thank you for taking time to pop by. And I think you might have a little bit of wiggle room in the day. So maybe I'll give you a couple stories and places you can go around town here, too.
Hell yeah. Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks.